Last week lesson, we have discussed about a simple cell battery. Samanya simple cell simple cell battery. Basically, we use two metals, zinc and copper. Then zinc and copper because we have used dilute sulfuric acid or dilute sulfuric acid. Sulfuric amde battery acid pavichi karanna puluwan oyaලට. Battery acid can be used there. So when zinc and copper sheets are there, so what will happen? Actually, zinc will work. So here, so let me show this quickly. Zinc copper cell animation. Right. So please understand COPP copper cell animation. Okay, this is how it works. Okay, this one. But anyway, so you can light up a very small voltage bulb, but you will not be able to light up a big bulb using this, and the reaction will be there for limited amount of time too. So those are the issues. Okay, you can see here. So one side is zinc, the other side is copper. And you can use actually a salt bridge between that. That is additional thing which was not shown in this in your book diagram. So we can use a salt bridge here. So you can see zinc will simply oxidize, right? Zinc will simply oxidize, forming. So it will divide in the oxidation process. There will be electrons. So actually traveling of electron will create a current. Electrons යන එක තමයි current එකක් විදියට අපි දකින්නේ. Here actually you can see two electrons, two zinc generate two electrons are generated. So what will happen there? These electrons will travel from high density area to the low density area. Electron වැඩි තැන ඉඳලා. So the electron concentration is high here. From that place to the electron concentration low place, there will be electrons traveling through. Actually, it's traveling through the bulb by creating a current. Okay, you can see these electrons go through the wire and it creates current. This will continue to happen. But after some time, this oxidization will be over. After that, so that we cannot use this. We cannot use this cell. So that is the problem. This is very temporary reaction. So there is a nice animation with explanation. Okay. So this is also working. This will also work. So without using two solutions, you can use this one, the sulfuric acid in one container, as you saw in your book.
A useful galvanic cell can be constructed by using zinc and copper. The anode is a zinc bar placed into a zinc sulfate.
Okay, another two things that I couldn't mention. Zinc side is known as anode and the cathode is the copper side, right? So that you need to mark in your book because it is not mentioned there. The zinc side we call this anode and this is called cathode. Anode and cathode, right? So which side is anode? Easy to remember. C, copper side is cathode, right? C for cathode. Copper side is cathode, zinc side is anode, right? Easy to remember that.
Solution. And the cathode is a copper bar placed into a copper 2 sulfate solution.
Here actually in this side you have copper sulfate, right? Copper to sulfate. In the copper bar, copper to sulfate.
Two solutions are connected by a porous sodium chloride salt bridge that prevents the two solutions from mixing but allows ions to migrate. Attaching cell shows that electrons flow from zinc.
Actually, this is also showing the salt bridge or the sodium chloride bridge. Here you have the copper sulfate, and this side you have zinc. Wait, I think I need to move to the other one. So can I see the simple cell? So both all are showing this one with the salt bridge. It's not having the salt bridge. Okay, this one. Okay, so you can see zinc plate and the copper plate, right? Zinc plate and the copper plate here. So similar reaction happens here also. Similar reaction will happen here also. You have actually you are using sulfuric acid. H2SO4 means sulfuric acid, but that is diluted one, or you can use like don't use like high concentrated one. You can use a low concentrated. Here you can see this is another. Okay, magnesium and copper is another solution. Can we see the reaction there? Okay, here you can see zinc and sulfuric, right? Zinc and sulfuric. Actually, this part is not there in grade 6 books. Don't worry. So these electrons, how the reaction happen, and this side is anyway not there, right? So don't worry about this. Again, so you can see here zinc. Zinc is a metal. Sulfuric is a acid, right? So what will happen normally, acid and metals, normally what will happen? So can you remember that the balloon that we have created using zinc? Yes. Can you remember the balloon that we have created? So sulfuric, zinc and sulfuric. So we can create hydrogen balloon. Actually, why? Because zinc and sulfuric will react and it will create hydrogen, and so we can just create a balloon using this. I said you to test this, right? If you can. So sulfuric acid you can obtain from normal shop, that is basically from a hardware. You can buy battery acid, right? Sulfuric you can buy from a hardware, that is battery acid, but be careful. So anyway, in the hardware, the version that you're having is diluted one, so no need to worry much about that, but better you wear some hand gloves, right, for the protection. Then what you need to what you need to do is you have to find some zinc. Zinc, of course, zinc you can find from the dry cell battery outer layer, that is zinc. Dry cell battery වටේ layer එක zinc. මම එක කිව්ව එක චූටි කෑලි වලට කපලා. So you have to use a bottle, glass bottle, and then what you need to do is put this small zinc particles to sulfuric acid. And what will happen? The balloon will inflate. The reason is zinc and sulfuric reaction will create hydrogen, right? එතකොට එහෙම තමයි hydrogen balloon එක එන්නේ. මම ආයෙ මතක් කරා, zinc and sulfuric reaction will create the hydrogen balloon. Okay, let's go there to this one. Here you can see zinc. Here you can see the sulfuric. Sulfuric means H2SO4. No need to remember that. Anyway, zinc and sulfuric will react. So because of this reaction, so hydrogen here, H plus, will created, and hydrogen will be released as gas, and there will be electrons. These electrons density is high in this side. Electrons may පැත්තේ වැඩි. මෙයානේ react කරන්නේ. React කරන පැත්තේ තමයි ගොඩක් react කරන්නේ. මෙයා මේ දෙන්නකින් වැඩිපුර react කරන කෙනා තමයි. මෙයා reaction යන්නේ නැති තරම්. ඒ හින්දා මෙයා මොකද වෙන්නේ? So this, because of this reaction, there will be electrons is in this side. This electron will go from the high concentration or high density side to the low density side. The electrons මෙතන වැඩි තැන ඉඳන් අඩු තැනට electron සාමාන්‍යයෙන් යනවා. මොකද මේ පැත්තේ electrons අඩුයි. ඒ හින්දා එයා කැමති electrons එනවනේ. මේ පැත්තේ electrons වැඩි. එයාට වැඩි වෙලා. වැඩි කෙනා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අඩු කෙනාට දෙනවනේ. Right? ඒ හින්දා මෙතනදී වැඩි electrons ටික මේ පැත්තට යනවා. ඒ හින්දා තමයි, because of that reason only, so because of that reason there is basically there's a current in this wire, and you can use this wire to lighten up a bulb. But this is like, this is not very good thing. Okay, you can see this is another thing, another example. So this is what the animation that, but this is picture, right? This is a picture. Salt bridge is basically, so this is interesting thing, but I'll, since that is not there, so we'll learn in the, like in grade 7 and grade 8, we'll learn about that, right? So for the moment, don't think much about this salt bridging and this part. Just think about the image given in your book. So related to this copper and zinc and the sulfuric acid here. So this will lighten up the bulb, but that is very temporary because zinc side will quickly dissolve. Zinc will quickly dissolve. So after some time, so that is what happening in the real environment. So if you need to see the real video of this, but still like I was searching for that, but I couldn't find any good video. Let's say sulfuric also. Sulfuric acid and sulfuric acid. So let's see, is there any video? Okay, simple cell. So this is okay, this is simple cell. So this shows the simple cell battery because the other one is it's not a simple cell. Okay, let's see this.
No time to drag your feet. A shot of rocket deal is what you need.
Voltaic cell. The simple cell or Voltaic cell consists of two electrodes, one of copper and the other of zinc, dipped in a solution of dilute sulfuric acid in a glass vessel. On connecting the two electrodes externally, a piece of wire, current flows from copper to zinc outside the cell and from zinc to copper inside the cell. Copper electrode is the on copper rod of the cell and zinc is the negative pole or zinc rod of the cell. The electrolyte is dilute sulfuric acid. The action of the cell is explained in terms of motion of the charged ions.
Okay, one thing I would like to ask from you. So which side electrons will move? From zinc to copper or copper to zinc? Electrons will flow from zinc to copper or copper to zinc? Yes? Zinc to copper the electron and copper in and zinc වලටද?
I think the first answer.
Zinc to copper. Is it? Or copper to zinc?
No, sir, zinc to copper.
Okay, zinc to copper. Hari, zinc in and copper venakam. Zinc to copper. Then current flows from current
Copper to
flows,
zinc.
current flows from copper to zinc. Okay, you need to understand this very well. Hari, the electron යන්නේ මේ පැත්තට. මේ තියෙන මේ ඍණ වලින් පෙන්නන this minus are electrons. Electrons go from zinc to copper. Here because zinc, this side electrons are, this side more electrons are there. So electrons will go from zinc to copper. Here electrons.
At the zinc rod, the zinc atoms get
Yes, zinc.
ionized and pass into solution as Zn ions or positive zinc ions. This leaves the zinc rod with 2 electrons more, making it negative. At the same time, 2 hydrogen ions are discharged at the copper rod by taking these 2 electrons. This makes the copper rod positive. As long as excess electrons are available on the zinc electrode, this process goes on and the current flows continuously in external circuit. This simple cell is thus seen as a device which converts chemical energy to electrical energy.
Okay, so you can see the electrons are moving from here to here. That will basically convert the electron. So it will convert the chemical energy to electron. But the problem is this cell is not a powerful and this is a temporary setup. This is a temporary setup, and so this will happen until there are excess electrons in the zinc side. So this is not a very good solution to get power continuously. But we have better solutions, that is dry cells or chemical cells. not just dry cells, we can just say chemical cells. So there are two kinds of cells. So these chemical cell batteries, there are two kinds of primary cells and the secondary cells. Okay, simple cell, primary cell, and secondary cell. So just write down this part quickly. I'll give this as a question. We write down as a question. Write the differences between simple cell, primary cell, and a secondary cell batteries. What are the disadvantages of using a simple cell? Okay, let me first explain. First of all, you write down this. Then I'll explain the simple cell, secondary cell and primary cell. After that, you can write. Okay, finish writing. If finished, please tell me.
Finish, sir.
Okay. So the primary cell and secondary cell difference is this. Primary cell basically, so that will be like these cells will be exhausted, or like you can say in simple word, the battery will simply drain, or battery will die after a certain time and become inactive, right? Exhausted means like battery charge will go, battery charge will not be there. Current battery bahino කාලයක් ගියාම. So they become inactive. This type of cells cannot be recharged when these electron movement is not there. So we cannot recharge them as well. So example, you can say normal AA, triple A batteries, A, or these cells, normal batteries, basically non-rechargeable batteries coming under this. Or you can say the watch batteries, and also this coin cell batteries, or the watch batteries, camera batteries are in this category. You can use this and throw it away. You have to recycle. Don't throw it away. You have to use it and then you have to recycle. It's not possible to recharge. Even though you try to recharge, it will become very hot if you try to recharge, and simply it will not respond. Other than that, the electrical charge will not be there. Right? So that is the issue of simple cell. Sorry, that is the issue of this primary cell. Right? Then the next is secondary cell. Secondary cell batteries are a bit expensive, these are also exhausted. These are also when with the time, any battery with the time, with the usage, it will be exhausted. That is normal. No, any battery will be like the charge will not be there after some time. But the thing is, it is possible to recharge after that, or while using, it is possible to recharge by supplying electricity externally. You can supply some electrons and electricity externally and recharge these batteries. Example, you can say the lead acid accumulator, car batteries, or the bicycle batteries, car batteries, mobile phone batteries, that is called lithium ion batteries, and Lipo and Li-Fi batteries, lithium Li-Fi, Lipo. So these batteries can be recharged, right? Or you can say the car battery, so we can call lead accumulator. So Lipo, if we have not seen these Li-Fi and Lipo batteries, so these are called battery. Okay, lithium ion phosphate battery, Li-Fi. So this is one kind of battery. Sometimes these are used in electric vehicles, which is rechargeable, right? And also in backup power solutions. And the another one is Lipo battery. So that is a lithium polymer battery. This is Lipo battery. Drones wala hema used in, this is used in mainly drones and some electric vehicles. This can be used in drones. This is heavily used in drones. So these batteries are rechargeable, right? Rechargeable means you can reinstate that. So you can see the examples. So that is the difference. The primary and the secondary cell difference is that. And solar cell is basically converting sunlight. Solar cell is converting the sunlight to electrical current, electricity. So that chemical reactions to electricity is done by this primary cells, secondary cells, and that is done by simple cells, primary cells, and secondary cells. Then solar power to electricity, so sunlight to electricity conversion is done by solar cells. Okay, I hope now you have a clear idea. Shall we write answers to this question very quickly? You can send it to the chat also. I'll give you 5 minutes, just write the answers. Okay, I'll assume that you didn't understand. I'm explaining again, right? Okay, then let's go to this. Let's go to this. Make a chemical reaction. So what will happen here? So what's happening here? So what is more reactive? What is more reactive from the copper and zinc? Yes. Copper, the zinc, the වැඩිපුර reactive. Hello, are you there? So this is zinc or copper. So what is more reactive? වැඩිපුර ප්‍රතික්‍රියා කරන්නේ. That means zinc copper දෙක තමයි zinc උයි දැම්මම sulfuric වලට මොකද්ද ඇත්තට වෙන වෙනම දැම්මොත් මොකද්ද ඉස්සලම නිකන් දිය වෙන ඔක්සිජන් ඉක්මනට ප්‍රතික්‍රියා කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? zinc ද copper ද? So what do you think? Okay, it is zinc, right? If you don't know, it is zinc. Normally ඒ වගේ metals දෙකක් දැම්මම, when there are two metals, the metal which is reacting, so you have to put metals, no? Metals දැම්මේ නැත්නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ? Right? What happen if you put plastic or something? Yes? Plastic hari වෙන මොනා හරි අපි දාමු මොනා හරි පුළුන් හරි plastic hari නැත්නම් baking soda හරි මොනා හරි දැම්මා කියමු. Sodium hydroxide something. So react කරන මොනා හරි දාන්න පුළුවන්. But what will happen? Those are not conductive නේද? Electrons අරන් යන්න බෑ. Conductive. Blast? Not just blast පුතේ. Blast වෙන්න පුළුවන් high reaction rate එකකදී. Not because of that. You need conductors. Conductors කියන්නේ සන්නායක වෙන්න එපා. The metals, most metals are conductors. So you can use these conductors, then only the current will go. Then අපි හිතනවා plastic වලින් අපිට current වදිනවද? වදිනවද? Are we getting electric shock using through plastic? Are we getting or not? Then plastic layer එකක් තියෙද්දි ඔය තියෙන්නේ plug වල එහෙම plastic එකක් තියෙන එකට current එක වදිනවද අපිට? You need to talk. Sanugit, Sandi, you need to talk. Are we getting electric shock through plastic? These switches in your wall, plastic. Are we getting electric shock? Come on, why don't you talk? Are we getting electric shock through this? No, we will not get, yes. At least send to chat. Sanugi, are you there? Can you hear me? Sanugi. Isandi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Why don't you answer? All right. Plastic calling it out. So what about wood? Are we getting electric shock through wood? Wood welling apita vadinawada current එක? Are we getting?
No.
No. Okay. So rubber.
No.
No. These are called insulators. Insulators. But the other things are called insulators. Parivara. So the metals basically they work as conductors. Conductors can sannayaka. So it transports or it transfers current. Okay, zinc and copper both are conductors or insulators. Zinc and copper both are
Insulator.
insulators or conductors. Insulators means parivarak. Conductors sannayaka. Those are conductors. Both zinc and copper are conductors. So out of this, zinc is reactivity or activity, or so this zinc is high. Therefore, it acts as negative terminal, or it acts as anode, right? Okay, please write down these things. Maybe these basics sometimes you need to remember, but I write in down. This is not the answer, right? Okay. Zinc and copper are conductors able to transfer electrons conductors okay. Reaction rate of zinc with sulfuric sulfuric. What's missing here? Sulfuric, correct? SULPHU. Okay. SULPHURIC, correct? SULPHUR, yeah. With reaction rate of zinc with sulfuric is higher than the other strip or the copper strip. Copper strip. The metal placed, both are metals, right? I don't want to mention that. The metal placed higher in the activity series acts as anode the metal placed higher in activity series acts as anode. The anode. And the other one acts as the cathode. Actually here cathode is copper, anode is zinc. Oxidation happens at anode. That is why the electrons are coming out, right? Oxidation happens at anode. That is where the anode becomes the negative terminal of the cell, and cathode becomes the positive. Cathode becomes the positive. So please write down these things. They're very important. That is what missing in the book, but still you need to know these things. Until your advanced level, this thing is very important, right? So the same you can create using iron and copper. Then iron strip will react. Iron strip will react faster, and iron will act as anode, right? So when you put iron nail එකක් දාන්න යකඩ අර තිබ්බ මේකේ, you can put iron nail and the other side copper strip. Then iron nail will react faster, so and acting as anode instead of zinc. Zinc වෙනුවට iron nail එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන්. Then iron and copper. Okay, finish writing. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then this part, differences between simple cell. Simple cell, difficult to carry and not portable. Simple cell, sorry. So then primary cell, not rechargeable. Secondary cell, I'm writing the disadvantages, expensive. Secondary cell is expensive. Simple cell, different to carry. Primary cell, not rechargeable. Secondary cell is expensive. Actually, you can say disadvantage of one. Simple cell difficult to carry. Have a primary cell and secondary cell easy to carry. එතකොට ඒව මම ලියන්නේ මේ වගුව කළ යනවා නම් points 3ක් තියෙනවා. Simple cell difficult to carry. එතකොට primary cell easy to carry. Secondary cell easy to carry. Not rechargeable and simple cell is also not rechargeable. This is also not rechargeable. And this one is basically the primary cell and secondary cell, primary cell, simple cell, not rechargeable, but secondary cell is rechargeable, right? Expensive but rechargeable. So these are the points that you need to remember about these cells. Okay. Right, with that, I'll conclude for today. So we have discussed about these cells. Actually, this lesson is like, since it's difficult to understand, that is why I'm doing this slowly, because we have enough time. So don't worry. So I was initially thinking of finishing the syllabus by December. But the thing is, at the rate that you are learning, it might take little longer than that. And also we need to plan for the term examinations too. And after electrolyzation, it is like after this yes, electricity, then we have to learn about heat and effects. I was thinking of doing faster, but the thing is like, so it seems it's little difficult to you, right? May lessons චූටක් විතර අනිත් lessons already අමාරුයි වගේ නේද? එහෙනම් අපි හිමීට කරමු, no worries, right? Then we need to learn about the chapter number 10. 10 is about the food related interactions. So ආහාර දාම ඒවත් මා තියෙන්නේ. So we will have to discuss about that as well. That is 4 lessons we need to discuss. Right? Let's slow down. Doesn't matter. So let's slow down and do this. Right? Okay. Then good night. See you next week. Okay. Bye.
Good night, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.